Hey there, card people. Just sorting some cards today. You've got card sorting chase today, and usually when it's card sorting chase, then I start thinking about something as my mind starts to melt from looking at all the cards. And today I've been thinking about something I've heard a lot on all kinds of different videos, forums, different seller groups, all kinds of stuff. And the thing that I've heard a lot is that you should take all your near mint cards, like these near mint flesh and blood cards I'm looking through right here, and list them as lightly played, especially on TCG Player, because dealing with customer condition disputes is a nightmare, not worth the hassle. It's not fun. It takes up too much time, whatever, right? So just take all your near mint cards, thousands and thousands of near mint cards. You list them all as lightly played. That's the strategy. You've heard that before, I'm sure, from lots of different places. I've even had people at TCG Player tell me that a lot of others have told them that that's what they do in order to avoid that. So I wanted to go through what I think about that idea today. So you've probably seen the title of the video. I think that listing near mint cards as lightly played is bad, actually, and I want to go over why. So that's what we're going to get into with this video. A bunch of rainbow foils here. Cool. So I get why. I get the idea behind the issue, right? I get the idea behind it. So having any type of dispute with a customer is remarkably unpleasant. I've worked in retail management for 15 years, and I had those interactions face to face with customers. So I get it. And, I understand completely how frustrating, how time consuming, and how unpleasant those conversations can be. And also, like, the idea too is that a lot of people are concerned, a lot of sellers are concerned that if you send a near mint card, someone's going to find a flaw that you missed, and they're going to come back and say, oh, this is lightly played, and be angry. Or they're going to not find a flaw and still come back and say, hey, this is lightly played, and they're going to be angry. So I get it. I get the issue. We all make mistakes. We're humans. Conditioning is hard. It's not something you're going to get right 100% of the time. And when you handle hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of cards, not getting it right 100% of the time means you're going to get it wrong sometimes. So why bother? You can just do this other thing, list them all as lightly played, and you're never going to be wrong. If a customer has a complaint about it being near mint instead of lightly played, then they're a weird customer, right? There's a quiet part to this that is not said out loud, and that is listing near mint cards as near mint isn't going to cause customer disputes. Sending cards that aren't near mint when listed as near mint is what causes customer disputes. Think about that for a minute. Unless someone is literally lying, which I'll get into later, they're not going to come back and say that a near mint card is not near mint if it's actually near mint when you send it to them and you do everything you're supposed to do to get it to them right. If you send near mint cards, when people buy near mint cards, they will be happy with their near mint cards. If you send cards that have flaws on them that are supposed to be near mint, they won't be happy with their near mint card because they have a light played card or worse. Like, there's two ways you can respond to the issue. You know that there's a chance that there's an issue where you send somebody a card that's the wrong condition. There's two ways you can respond to it. You can be afraid of it and just give up and say there's not any chance that you can avoid that, and that if you can't avoid it, then there's no reason to be in the business at all of dealing with it. And that's the either don't sell cards anymore. Cardbot just finished up a sort. That's the either don't sell cards or sell your cards and say the condition on them is worse than it is category. Or you can, like, I don't know, get better at conditioning. Get better at customer service. Not be literally afraid of your customers. When I get to sorting cards, the filters come off a little bit, and I let the hot takes out, and we just have, let's improve our skills and have better customer service. That's where I'm sitting on this, right? Ooh, there's a bunch of these with cloudiness. Let's get rid of those. Undergrading your cards, underconditioning your cards, saying that they're light play when they're near, or when they're actually near mint. It hurts you. Yeah, you might, if you sell everything as light played, you might get a little bit more sales from the cards you don't eliminate, right? Or whatever. If you're that concerned about them, list those as lightly played. Handle that. But you're reducing the value of your cards, of your collection, of your inventory. Because you can generally sell near mint cards for a higher price. You can generally demand a lower price when buying cards that are below near mint. All non-foils, all looking good. Also, along with that, it warps the market. It distorts the market information, right? So if on the large scale, if everybody's doing this, if everybody's listing near mint cards as light played, and the only way that a near mint card counts as near mint is if you can look at it and immediately expect it to get a PSA 9 grade if you send it off to PSA, which why would you do that with this, this Light the Way from Dusk Till Dawn? No one's going to send that off to PSA to see if it gets a 9. But that if the standard becomes light played is near mint, and what is near mint now? It's only museum quality grading condition, right? That's warping the market. It's not what near mint means. Giving up that way, it's saying that it's kind of, there's a dichotomy of mindsets that you may have heard some other people talk about. There's the static mindset versus a growth mindset, right? And if you give up and you say, like, I'm just gonna list them all as light played, not near mint, that's kind of giving in to the idea that things are always going to be the same. You can't do anything different. You can't learn or grow or change anything. And so that's a static type of mindset where you're just saying, no, there's not any way that I'm going to get better at this, or I can do this in a way that involves me actively doing something, and so I'm not going to. I'm just going to let things be the way they are, right? And the other way is to improve your skills at conditioning and your resilience to customer service, being something you have to do every now and then. And in that way, you actually grow and you become a better card seller, a better business person, and a better person, right? Not that I'm saying that people who have listed light play as near mint are bad people or anything, but you can grow from the position that you are now. That's what I'm trying to say. That static mindset where you're choosing not to try and grow your way out of a problem, but instead avoid the problem and pretend like it doesn't exist. That assumes a couple of things. Basically, it assumes that there's a level of distrust that you have both in the customers who are buying from you, because if they have an advantage where they can pretend like something's light played instead of near mint, then they're going to take it and they're going to scam you out of your $1.74 or whatever, or your $20 or your $50 or whatever. So you're distrusting that the customer is going to act in good faith, which, in my experience, better than 99.99% of them do. Very rarely have I had anything happen that I have even suspected was a customer acting in bad faith. It also assumes a level of distrust in your own ability. It's like you're saying, "Oh, I'm not ever going to be good enough to condition well enough to make this a manageable problem." It's like saying, "I'm just not going to be good enough at being a business person to actually run my business," right? Think about that. Like, just put it in that perspective. Like, think of another business that you know. Think if Coca-Cola put an extra can in all of their 12 packs of Coke cans because they were afraid that every customer who got a 12 pack with 12 cans in it was going to complain that there weren't 12 cans in their 12 pack. If Topps printed on their card packages a disclaimer that said, "Warning, all these cards inside are have some damage to them. We are completely incapable of managing quality control at our factory, and every card gets a little damaged. I'm sorry." And you open the pack and they're fine. That, there's nothing damaged to them. You're like, "Oh, okay. Why did they put that on there then?" Because what those things are saying and what you're saying when you hide the true condition of your cards is that you're more afraid of the customer making a complaint than you are of staying as you are as a business person or as a business or as just a person. You're more afraid of dealing with a customer who's upset than you are of not growing. And I just don't think that's where any of us want or need to be in order to participate in this business. There's almost zero evidence that I've been able to find in my 5 years of doing this now, in a serious kind of way. I've never had any real evidence of this being an actual issue, because almost everybody, especially in, I participate in the low end of the market, but I do sell high end stuff sometimes, but especially in the low end of the market, nobody's trying to rip you off. Everyone just wants the cards. They can play with them or collect them or hold on to them. Just describe them accurately. It's simple. If you're having a hard time with conditioning correctly, if you're getting a lot of people complaining that your cards are not the correct condition, your first assumption shouldn't be that everybody's trying to rip you off, because if that were the case, they would also be trying to rip me off. So your first assumption should be, I'm not good at this. How can I get better? There's hundreds of videos on YouTube on how to condition. I made some myself back when TCG Player put out their conditioning guidelines. TCG Player literally wrote in a little manual for you to look at and be better at conditioning. Some things are tricky and you don't see them. Like Sword and Shield era reverse holo foils in Pokemon. They get scratched up really easily, but it's hard to see the scratches unless you get the light to hit the foil layer as a glare separate from the regular card surface glare. And that's just not something you know until you look at it and someone points it out to you. Something about that era, the foil layer, is just really scratchable. Those, I always list those as light played because they are all light played. I got hundreds of them on eBay and people buy them, but they're all, just slightly foil worn, right? You just got to actually pay attention and get good at it. And you have to think, if a customer sees this, are they going to be accepting that this is near mint, or is this something that they could get upset by? I'm cutting these cards out because they have little spots on the glossy surface that are just where it's rubbed against something or a bit of schmutz or something over the couple of years or few years since these were printed, and there's just little surface issues. They're not near mint. Someone looked at that. They got a near mint card in the mail, and then there's this little surface issue sticking out on it. they're gonna be rightfully upset. Ooh, that's a cold foil. Not a valuable one. It's a cold foil common from Tales of Aria. So that's really all I had to say about it. It's listing near mint as near mint isn't tricky or stressful if you actually send them near mint cards. You know, if your card is light played, don't list it near mint. If your card is near mint, don't list it light played. There are people who want to buy near mint cards. They pay for near mint cards. They pay extra for them. Just treat the customer the way you would want to be treated and the way they want to be treated, man. It's really simple. That's what I got. If you're on the fence about a particular card, then be conservative. Like, if you're concerned that this nick might make it not near mint, don't treat it as near mint. Be conservative. But don't be so conservative that you treat everything like it's light played, even when you've got thousands of near mint cards. Don't run away from opportunities to learn. That's the main point of this. Don't run away from opportunities to learn and get better and become a better card seller or a better business person. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you should believe in yourself. I do.